What is going on, everybody? Today I will be talking about 5 reasons why I think Washington could beat Texas in the college football playoffs. And I've already made a ton of videos on the college football playoffs, and they've been a lot of fun to make for you guys. But the last couple days I gave reasons on why both Alabama and Michigan could win their playoff game. So go back and check those videos out on the channel if you guys feel like it. But today we are talking about 5 reasons why I think Washington could beat Texas. And then tomorrow we will talk about another 5 reasons on why Texas can beat Washington. So if you're a fan of any of these playoff teams, then hopefully you enjoy these videos because I'm doing a video for each of your teams. But regardless of what happens in the playoffs this year, this is the last 14 playoff, and we are now heading into an era of the 12-team playoff. But this year's playoff really has a chance to be the best one yet, or should I say 2024's playoff, because technically the college football playoff starts on January 1st. But I do think it's very open this year, and I could absolutely see any one of these 4 teams win it. So this playoff will definitely be one for the ages. But before I get into this video, let me remind you guys to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then this is definitely the right channel for you, because we post a ton of college football content, and we got big plans for 2024, including lots of college football offseason content. So definitely consider subscribing. But everybody be sure to set new goals for 2024, because it is a new year. But anyways, without further ado, let's give 5 reasons on why I think Washington can beat Texas in the college football playoffs. And the first reason I think Washington could beat Texas is because of Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer already beat Texas last year, and he's done an amazing job at Washington. And just his first season at Washington, the team finished with an 11-2 record after beating Texas in the Alamo Bowl by a touchdown. And although the game probably didn't mean that much because of the opt-outs and the fact that these are 2 different teams, the result of the game was still a Washington win. And Kalen DeBoer is already 3-0 against Dale Lanning and the Oregon Ducks, when the Ducks were 10-point favorites in the Pac-12 championship. And a lot of people expected Oregon to win that game. Or should I say, most people expected Oregon to win. But Washington won and proved everybody wrong again. And they're 4-0 as outright underdogs this season. And people keep doubting this team. But I'm starting to realize Kalen DeBoer is a special coach, and he's doing a lot of good work at Washington. And he's one of the most fastest rising coaches in recent memory of college football. And he's actually had a pretty long coaching career, dating back to almost 20 years, and he's won a national championship at a very low level of play, but I figured I'd mention that because Kalen DeBoer has won a couple national championships, just not at the FBS level yet. But Kalen DeBoer has already shown that he's a legit coach that can compete for a national championship at the FBS level, because this year his team went 13-0 and made the playoffs. And don't be surprised if Washington shocks the world, because this team is different, and they went 13-0. That's something no other Pac-12 team has ever done. I know Oregon went undefeated in conference play back in 2010, but it was basically the Pac-10 at the time, and there weren't that many teams in the Pac-12. And the Pac-12 has been a complete gauntlet over the last decade, and no team really seems to make it out of the conference or make it to the playoffs. Only 2 teams have made it in the Pac-12 era, because they always end up losing games. But Washington didn't just make the playoffs, but they went 13-0 and beat Oregon twice. And they beat Oregon State on the road before Oregon State lost all their players, back when Oregon State had a team. And they also beat Arizona. So they've had many quality ranked wins this year, and Kalen DeBoer has done a fantastic job at Washington, but people still keep continuing to doubt this team. But the second reason I think they can beat Texas is because of Michael Penix Jr. And Texas secondary has had its fair share of issues this year, and so has Washington's secondary. So this game could possibly turn into a shootout, and that means we're going to need to see Michael Penix Jr. play the game of his life. And they've had a month rest for this game, and I really think Washington needs this rest, seeing how much they were fighting near the end of the season. So if this Washington team is fully healthy and playing their best game, they might be the scariest team in the playoffs, even if people still consider them the underdog. But Michael Penix Jr. will play a factor in this game, and I expect him to tear apart that secondary, or at least make it hard on Texas secondary, because Michael Penix Jr. is the leading passer in the country, and Texas has gave up 240 passing yards per game, which is very below average. I don't see many quarterbacks that can make passes and put them where Michael Penix Jr. does. So it will be interesting to see how he does against that Texas defense. And the third reason I think they can beat Texas is because Washington's defense may be better than people think it is. And we could see Washington's defense possibly crumble against Texas, because Texas does have some really good receivers. A guy like Xavier Worthy stands out, who has really teared apart some secondaries this year. And they have a very solid quarterback like Quinn Ewers. But Washington has also been a very streaky defense, and they've showed up to play in the biggest games. And they really shut down one of the best offenses in the country for a majority of the game against Oregon. And Washington has some tough guys on that defense. They just absolutely sucked on their pass defense this year, but their defense has a month to rest for this game, and I've definitely seen some improvement from the defense all year. And they have some really good defensive linemen who can make it tough for Texas, and they're pretty good at pressuring the quarterback. And I wouldn't be surprised if Washington plays a very tough game against Texas. I wouldn't say Washington's defense is one of the best in the country, absolutely not, but it might be good enough to get the job done in this game. And this playoff means so much more than anything else this year, so I expect both these teams' defenses to show up, and I would not be surprised if this was a lower scoring game. Not like very lower scoring, like Iowa football games, but like a game in the high 20s or low 30s. But I would absolutely say that the offenses outshine the defenses in this game. But one thing I guess I should mention is that Texas does have a top 10 rush defense, but Washington is more of a passing team that runs the ball when they need to, which isn't very often. But near the end of the season, Dylan Johnson has really got going, so we'll see if Washington runs the ball. But on the defensive side, I definitely expect Washington to do better than people think. But the fourth reason I think Washington can win this game is because they're the ultimate underdogs in this game, and they will be motivated to go out and put up a fight like they have been all year. Washington is a very tough team in crunch time, and they've won a majority of their games by one possession this year against very tough teams, and it will be hard to beat this team in a close game. And it's not like Washington didn't play anybody this year. They literally beat a top 10 Oregon team twice, who was ranked top 10 on offense and defense in scoring. So they've already showed that they can win the big games. So this game against Texas is nothing new to them. Texas is probably the better team than Oregon, but Washington creates magic in close games and could win in many different ways, on defense and on offense. This Washington team is 4-0 as an underdog, and people still keep doubting them. And they will be the underdog against Texas, and that's honestly just Washington's comfort zone at this point. And them being the underdogs just makes them fight even more. They also got one of their key receivers back who was out all year, and this team should be ready for the playoffs. And for the fifth reason I think Washington could beat Texas is because of the receivers Michael Penix Jr. has to throw to. And Washington has not one, not two, but three very, very good receivers, and they're all going to be fired up for this game. And I don't know how anybody will match up with these three guys. Receivers Roma Doomsday and Jalen Polk both have 1,000 receiving yards on the season. And they also have a guy like Jalen McMillan who has been out for a big portion of the season, and he offers a lot of speed for this team. But the one guy that stands out the most for this receiving room is leading receiver Roma Doomsday, who has 1,428 yards on the season for 13 touchdown catches, and he's one of the best in the country. And he can make amazing one-on-one catches that most receivers can't. And if you throw a one-on-one ball to Roma Doomsday, you better expect him to catch it 90% of the time. I've seen Roman Doomsday win so many one-on-one balls against cornerbacks, and I don't know how that Texas secondary will stop him. And if they somehow find a way to guard a Doomsday, then have fun stopping Jalen Polk and Jalen McMillan, because these receivers are all very good, and they will be a scary trio in this year's playoffs, and it should be fun watching them. But this should definitely be a fantastic game, and both of these teams have had incredible rises, so it will be interesting to see this game, and it could definitely turn into a fun shootout. And the winner of this game will be in the national championship on January 8th. So this is definitely a game I'm excited for. But you guys let me know in the comments below who you think will be the X factor in this game. In my opinion, I think the X factor for Washington is definitely Michael Penix Jr. And for Texas, it might be their quarterback too, who is Quinn Ewers, because I expect both quarterbacks to play a clean game and give it their all. But don't be surprised if we see some interesting trick plays thrown into this game. But the winner of this game honestly might just come down to which quarterback is better. But there you have it. I just gave 5 reasons on why Washington could beat Texas in the college football playoffs. But I will also have a video on 5 reasons why Texas can beat Washington out tomorrow. And if you want to know my actual prediction, go back and watch the video on the channel. I posted it a few days ago. And I did have a video with my actual prediction on the game. But these playoff videos that I've been making have been a lot of fun. So I hope you guys have enjoyed them. But that is going to do it for the video. Let me remind you guys to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And also turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then this is definitely the channel for you. Because we post a ton of college football content on this channel. And we got big plans for 2024, including lots of college football offseason content. So be sure to tune in every day for videos. And help me out by subscribing to help me hit 1,000 subscribers. Because that is my next milestone. And I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers within the next couple months. But regardless of how many subs I get, I love making these videos for you guys. And I don't plan on stopping. And we got bigger plans. But I do appreciate any support I get. So thanks to everyone who has supported the channel in any way. But I hope everyone is enjoying their holidays. But that's going to do it for the video, and peace out.